What's up, guys? It's Bleed from the YouTube channel Games and Veins, and today we're going to do a DIY how to build some shelves in your gaming room so you can put your collectibles and all your stuff on. To get this whole thing started, depending on how big you want your shelves, I went with 12-foot deep plywood with 8-foot long 2x4s. That's really all you're going to need to put these shelves in your garage. Now, depending on how you want to paint them, I decided to paint them gray because my floor is blue and gray and my walls are gray, and it's still, I know it looks a little sloppy, it's still in working order, but I'm going to show you how to put these shelves in, and I'm no carpenter, I'm an amateur. So let's get this on the road, and I'm going to show you how to put these shelves in and how to get these things done. First off, you're going to need your screws, your screwdrivers, but you're going to want to locate your studs. If you got a stud finder, that's good. If not, you can start. You can hear the different sound there. That's a stud. That's nothing. That's a stud. I mean, that was nothing. That's a stud. Stud so far, and so forth. So once you get all that done, then you'll be ready to go once you map them out, and then from there it's just how high you want to put them up. So this is how you're going to do it. Now, mind you, this is me doing it solo, so I'm going to be doing it a little different, but trust me, you can do it. I'm no carpenter, and this is not rocket science, so this is a good way to do something by yourself while you're at home. You know, with everything going on, this will help you out. Now, for some clarification on what I did right here, I basically took where I found my studs and I drilled some screws into the studs at the bottom just a little bit. Since I'm doing this by myself, it's an 8-inch piece of 2x4, so leveling it and getting it screwed in and where I need it's going to be kind of hard by yourself. So by putting it on these screws right here, I'm able to go down there, secure it on that end, put my level on it, then level it up, screw it on this end, and then put my other two screws in the middle. Once that's done, then I'll move up to the next section, however high I want it, and then we'll go from there. Now that's secured, so next thing we'll do, we'll get another screw ready, and then from there we'll put a level on it, see where we're at, get it nice and level in between the lines on your level. Once you got it right where you want it, let's see, that's perfect right there. I'll go ahead and secure this end on this stud. Bear with me. Doing this solo makes it a little bit longer of a trial. And boom, your first board's in. First board's in, perfectly level. This little laser level I got, it's small. You can use the laser on it, and it has the 2 liquid levels on it. And then just move it down the board, and boom, perfectly level. So we got the initial piece in. Now what I'm going to do, I know what you're thinking, these screws down here are going to mess up the drywall. I have extra paint because I'm still painting this room, as you can see right there. So I'll just come over it with a little bit of sheetrock repair that I have, dab it on there, and then come over it with a little quick touch of the paintbrush. You'll never know I'll put a screw in there. Now we know where that one's at. We'll make sure we're roughly pretty much even with it. Like right there. nice and flush. That's pretty solid already. Not bad for an amateur. Kind of the way I am with everything. I do gaming videos on this channel. I stream on Twitch. I'm not perfect at it, but I get the job done, and I can show people just like me how to do it, like I'm doing with my shelves right here. So let's continue. Oh, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, go to my Twitch channel, Bleed45 Games, man. I love the support. I'm just a guy just trying to live out his dream while I can. Alright, so next one is going to be right here. That shelf is in the studs and secure. Now, I'm going to keep recording everything, but I'm going to speed the video up because it's the same for the next three. And then when I get to putting the outer shelf on, I'm going to slow the video down again. And you can see the process of how I put the outer shelves on here. And then from there, boom. But first, depends. Me, I have kids. I have a little small 5-year-old who's pedal to the metal all day long. So I don't want any sharp edges at head height. Don't need him knocking his top off running around the house, because you know 5-year-olds, if you got kids, they love to run around. I don't want him splitting his top. So I put the shelves up a little bit higher, but it also leaves me room later on to add one down further if I want to. And this is just my first set that I'm doing. Once I get more of my video game stuff out of storage that I have a bunch over there. I'm going to take pictures and put it on with this video of what I got collectibles. I'm going to go to that back wall once I finish painting it, pull down that little temporary green screen I've been using. I'm going to put 8 foot of shelves on that side. And I'm going to show you how to build a computer stand or a TV stand with 2x4 and plywood and paint it whatever color you want. If you know somebody who's very good with a paintbrush or spray paint after you put an initial coat on it, and then boom, you can design it however you want. DIY. That's like this. I wanted the same color of my room. I didn't do a big finish on this. I'm not going to teach you how to paint because painting sucks. But I just put an initial coat of the same color on my wall on here, so it's not really going to see anything. And then I'm going to put some, like, kind of like with the fans and stuff in your computer, some RGB lighting. So when I'm streaming and stuff, I can have some really cool stuff going on. But enough of that talk, because I talk a lot. I'm going to hang these next 3 shelves, and then boom from there. Which, by the way, use your tape measure and decide how high you want the shelves before I go on. How high do you want them? Depends on what you got. Me, I've got trinkets and systems and stuff like that. So for me, about 14 to 16 inches apart for like the bottom and the middle shelf is ideal to me. Because that's all I'm going to do right now. Is I'm just putting one shelf here and one shelf 16 inches up. And that's going to be enough for me to put everything that I want to put in right now. And then later on, I'll add on, put another shelf below, put another one higher up. I just don't feel like fighting with it. So, and plus I don't have a god-awful amount of stuff, but I'm going to put a shelf here, and then on that wall, I'm going to do the same thing. One shelf, 2 shelves. I got the paint. I'm going to finish painting that tonight, and boom. Those 2 shelves at this height, all I need. And then the excess wood that I have and plywood that I bought, I'm going to use it to build a badass TV stand and computer stand to put my computer on. And I'm going to build a workbench as well, because I'm going to be building a PC probably tomorrow or the next day. Another amateur do-it-yourself video. So anyway, measure your shelves however high you want them. I said 16 to 18 inches. I'm going to go with this one since it's only 2 right now. I'm going to go at 20 inches because if I want to add a third shelf, at 20 inches to put it up there. So we'll roughly say I want to be right there. I have some non-stick tape that I use just to do a little bit of marking, especially where that way also I know where my studs are when I move all the way up. And boom. Come over here. That one's kind of in the way, so we'll go with this one. It's my stud. 20 inches. Take the last piece of tape right here. 20 inches. I'm the hope to the average gamer. Remember that. I get the energy drink in. Don't recommend them. Terrible for you. But I worked all last night in a refinery. Got off, painted all this stuff till 11 o'clock. Went and got it cut, all that. I'm on like 3 hours of sleep. I'm doing this to help. Now we know that's nice and secure. We'll move on to our next set. Same thing. We'll put a screw in over here, which, where's my screw at? Right there. Take that screw out. Measure up from the stud to my 20-inch mark, which my tape measure is giving me problems. I'll put it right here. That's where I want the bottom of my shelf at 20 inches. If that makes any sense. 20 inches at the bottom of the 2x4. So it would actually be, the shelf would be at 22 inches. So anyway, with that being said, oh, and you look at me, messed up my arm real bad. So I'm kind of partially handicapped, and I'm still playing video games and doing this kind of stuff. No excuse. So, we'll go ahead and put that stud in, put that screw into the stud right here. Or you could do like I did and miss it, because there's that too. Because I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. But, gotta learn somehow. The best way to learn is hands-on. So, let's try this again. Went right beside the damn thing. There's the stud. Now, we'll take our next 2x4. Oh, and by the way, when you do your 2x4, make sure you take the pretty side. If somebody gets, I mean, you're not going to see it on camera. You can't see it on camera now. But if I bring it close, you can see some imperfections. This one you can't see as bad. But I like to go with the smoother side. But this is going to be on the back wall, so you're not really going to see it. But, who knows? All depends on how picky you are. I'm kind of picky, so I'm going to be doing it a little different, if you will. So, like I did before, knocking everything down in my room. Stick that one right there. Come over here and drill this one in. Get in there nice and secure. Make sure you get decent tips for your screws. Now the next thing I'm going to do, make sure I got level. And I'm short. And make sure you get crap out the way, because like I didn't, so now I gotta deal with this. So now I got the stuff in the way because I got in a hurry and didn't do it right. I left a bunch of stuff. Like I had a shelf up here I thought I was gonna clear, because initially I was gonna go like 7 foot, and then I didn't feel like cutting all the boards and all that stuff, so I just went full 8 foot. Now that's out the way. Back to what I was saying. Your next shelf, you'll just kind of get it leveled in there like it should be. Line your stud up. Or I should say, line it up to your stud. Boom. My 2 shelves are done. And like I said, just for good measure, where is the bottom of my board? Right where I want it. Yes, sir. So that gives me some big shelves. So if you got some big stuff like Halo helmets, little Doom characters, any kind of big stuff like that, with 20 to 22 inch shelves right here, you're good. You can, I mean, it's a lot of room to put trinkets. And then on top, of course, you got from the top, depending on where you start. Like for me, if I have anything big, if I want to build a big massive Lego tower or something like that. I got 40 inches, almost 4 foot of headspace. I can put storage boxes up there. I got a big TV that I don't use all the time because now I have HDMI components. That way I can run my GameCube and my NES and all that to my streaming software on my computer and actually capture games with my capture card through the HDMI converter. So, put stuff up, whatever you want to do. But me, I'm a gamer, so I'm kind of directing this towards the gaming community. And now that that's done, we'll do what we were doing earlier and tack into our other studs and be done. So, we'll just move the ladder down because I'm short. And we are depending on your eyesight. Oh, also you'll know if you got into the 2x4 or if you got into the stud or if you got into the sheetrock, because it'll drill a little tight and it'll just slide right in there. It means you busted the threads through the sheetrock and you're not catching any actual 2x4 or something sturdy, which means over time these bad boys will sag and eventually pull out the wall and can damage all your stuff. Lost a 24-inch flat screen TV like that one time. I didn't know any better. I ain't afraid to admit it. Thought I bolted, you know, used the sheetrock screws and all that, put it in, but over time started sagging. TV fell in my apartment. Had on the wall in my bedroom. Just a little small TV. Just shelf came off. Lost like a $250 Samsung TV. Not happy. And by the way, if you don't want to put 4 screws in here, put 2 or put 3. That's how you want to secure it. I'm doing 4, like boom, boom, 8-foot section, you know, about every 2 feet. I'm putting in a screw. Oh well, 1 on the ends and then 2 about 16 inches apart in the middle. That pretty much stabilizes everything. It's all about how anal retentive you are, though. I'm kind of a weird guy, so I don't care. I'm real tedious about what I do, so. Yep, see? That ain't going nowhere. Boom. That's pretty much it for that part. Now the next part, or the fun part, will be putting your end boards up. But before we do that, there's a little trick. I learned it online. So we're going to go with that. You want to make sure that your outside boards are as level as your main boards on the back. So, basically what you're going to do, fairly easy, you'll come over here to your boards. Once again, now this is the outside. So you definitely want the nicer side of your board. Look at them. Like this is the side with like the knots in it. So you want to go with the smooth side. And you'll come over here and pretty much take this board and stick it on top of it. And I know you're sitting there going, well, what are you doing? Well, I'll show you. One, I'm using my body weight right now because I'm solo with this. I hope I don't step on that. Really make for a bad day. But you'll take your screw, put it in your board, and just put your board in like that. Nothing spectacular. And you can even lay it down if you gotta go do something because it's in there secure. But like I said, make sure you got everything out of the way because it gets redundant. Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of hard to see, but right down there I screwed that board in just a hair. And now I'm going to put my level on this board, and it's perfectly level. Get some of that, Mr. Everyday Carpenter. And you'll come over here to this end, because you don't need a whole bunch of screws. That's why I like this screw sleeve too. You can just slide it in, lock it up, and then boom. Now you know that this board and this board are even for your outside. And you just put your level on it. Make sure you got it right. Some of these boards are a little uneven, so see, like here, it's showing pretty level. And over here, showing a little bit off, but the board's not, it's hard to get 2x4s that are actually perfect. When you get on the flat part of the board, and just make your simple adjustments. Boom, it's level. And depending on how picky you are, that'll also depend on how low it can be. So, that one's in. Next step, we do it to the next one. Nothing crazy, same old thing. Get our screw ready, lock our sleeve in, put it right there. Same thing, make sure you grab the nice board, the nice side of the board, just look over it. Like this one, bunch of knots on this side, so I'm going with this side. And, well, it's 8-foot board, so don't do that. You'll slide it all the way down. Get it where you think it's even. Once you put that first screw in the back side here, you can actually modify it. Nothing crazy. Get it butted up against the wall so you know your edges are perfect. Save you some headache later on. Grab your screwdriver. Put it right here. Yep. And grab your level. Let's see where you're at. Like right there, it's perfect on this board. Yep, that's where you want to be. And like I did with the last one, No. Well, that missed. Well, I didn't miss. I didn't get it deep enough where the board slid. And we're even. So we get back to doing what we were doing. There you go. Once that's where you want it, you slide that one down. Get your next screw. Move your little chair or whatever you got. I got limited room, so I'm not set up for the best. But this is the way to do it with what you got. So I'm doing it with what I've got. Now that I got that there, take my little laser level, which I'm not using the laser on, obviously. That's where we need to be. Put the screw in. Boom. Nice and level. Yep. Make sure they're smooth all the way down and good to go. Alright, now that that's done, next thing you want to do, alright, now that you got your additional boards, screwed in, now you can change up the length of your screws. I have 2-inch screws that I'm going to be using. The initial ones I used were 3-inch. And basically now I'm going to pretty much make my second piece. Now, if you're like me and you don't really have a lot of saws, you just want to save some time because you don't want to be crazy about it, you could put in some truss here that stick out to bolt this in, but because I'm not a great carpenter, I don't want it to be off and then my plywood don't fit right and it drives me nuts. So I'm going to do it without. I'll show you how to do that. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get our 2-inch screw ready, and we will grab our next 2x4. Make sure you got whatever side is the better looking side, and in this case it'll be that side. Now, depending on how high you want your shelves, really up to you. Like for me, like I said before, I'm more on the, what would you call it, I guess, on the side of where I got room to add another shelf. So however you want to do it. Then I'll make sure, take my level, Make sure my board is level this way. And we'll make sure that it's obviously level way it's supposed to be to the outsides of everything. That's good. That's good. Now it's in there like we want it. We'll go ahead and put our initial screw in there all the way through. That one's good. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's where you use your 3-inch screw. No, I'm sorry. You too. Don't listen to me. I'm kind of retarded sometimes. Alright, and then from here, we'll go ahead and do the top piece. That ain't going nowhere. Yeah. And then once again, we'll see what the pretty side of our board is. Unfortunately, it's going to be this one, this side. And we'll do the same thing. We'll come over here and flush it. Come over here and flush it up. Do it again. Now, we get our screw, lock it in place. Continue on. Now we're good. And we'll screw this one in. All right. Make sure you got it level. in. All right, now that that's done, we'll take our screws out. That one's out. That one's out. Now, comes the first fun part. You're gonna just, well, first off, you don't want to do like me. I got a bunch of stuff in the way. So, move that out the way. Limited space to work with sometimes, but it's killing the whole project. Just making it a little odd. Alright. Now I got my, these should be the same height. Yep. These are my two 8-foot shelf panels. So, what we'll do is we'll get these ready. This is where you'll use the real short screws. Inch and a quarter. Now we got that. We'll bring our panel out. Especially if you're doing this by yourself, make sure you got some on. Oh yeah, and make sure you got 2 screws and everything when you're done. Give you some leeway to mess with everything. Son of a bitch. sucks. That's how you do it. Then from there, we'll just go ahead and pull our piece out. And we're going to set it right there leaning on something. I didn't build any truss, so be it. But for my shelving, you can go as deep as you want. I'm a tape measure. You can go as deep as you want. I went a foot, 12 inches. Yep. You go 12 inches. You can go 16 inches. You can go as deep as you want with these shelves. Really up to you. Me, I went fairly simplistic. So, now, what I'm going to do is lay my plywood. I know some people be like, well, why didn't you put truss? Do it if you want. This is just a quick little shelving deal I decided to do. Now see, butted up. Looks fairly decent. Now we'll take my 1¼ screw. Gonna put one right here in the very end of the board, all the way up against the wall. If it doesn't snap the board, kind of like mine just did, don't go too close. You can really mess it up, like I did. So we'll go a little bit further out, about right there. That went into into the board good. Other one, not so much. That's an easy fix. We'll just pull that one out, reuse that screw. Now here, I'll go down a little bit further. Put another one in for good measure. Make sure your plywood's butted up against the wall. Nails in there good. And then we'll grab one more screw. And put one in all the way down here at the end. Lock our sleeve in. Come all the way down here to this end. Well, now the plywood's held into itself. Not really going anywhere. Now that that's done, we'll go ahead and take our shell and slide it into place. Now look at that. That shelf is done, son. Done. It's good. And just for good measure, see what we got here. Level. Now, given it ain't gonna be a perfect level due to the plywood, and I'm using a weird kind of flooring. I have some, what would you call that? It's like gym matting. So it's kind of squishy, but it's level. It's within the lines. So, that pushed up to the 2x4. We'll come in here at the very end back here. Got that thing secured. Then we'll come over here. My bit come out. Slide this one all the way over till it butts the plywood and do the same thing. Rinse and repeat. Or whatever way you want to say it. And then boom. It's in there. And perfectly level now that the plywood's been put in correctly. Perfectly level. I got one screw here, one screw here, one screw here. Got one screw here, one screw here. Now I'm going to come out, put one in one, and another one here. And that's it. You'll have 2, 4, 6, 8, roughly evenly screws in your piece. So we got these 2 in. Come down here. That way plywood sits flush. Because Because let's be honest, plywood's not perfect. It's going to kind of be a little offset. We got our 2 in down there. And for good measure, right in the middle, we'll do 2 more. That way, this is supported. And that shelf, it ain't going anywhere. And then of course, if you want, you can always, you can put the truss in, which I'm going to do. But this is just a tutorial on putting the shelves in. And you can measure the distance between this 2x4 and that 2x4. And you can put a truss in. That way, you know, the middle of your shelving is pretty secure. I didn't make long shelves, so, I mean, the truss is optional to you. I'm not putting a great deal of weight on my stuff. So there you go. That's the squishiness in the floor. Now that's done. You can come back and wipe it down when you're done. Fix the little extra screw holes you got in the wall, whatever. Now, we'll take my little stand because I'm short. We'll put in our next piece of plywood. But when you cut the plywood, or you get them to cut it for you, you can have 2 11-inch pieces because of the width of the saw going through the board, and then the rest will be 12. So you can have 1 11-inch per piece of plywood. Let me say that. I got 2 pieces of plywood, so I got 2 11-inch shelves, wide shelves, which I have that, you know, I'm going to do something with them. But depending on the length you want, I want 12. So I'm using 12 here. That's plenty enough to do what I'm doing. Which, by the way, if you're still with me at this point, thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this, please. I'm just trying to be an average gamer and try to do some stuff to help people. It's a rough time out there these days. And I'm just learning. I'm learning like everybody else. I'm just the type of guy, I'm going to do it myself. Trial and error, that's the best way you can learn. Now, we'll take the level, see where we're at. And we're roughly pretty good. Just got to get everything seated up. And then we'll go from there. Move some of this stuff out the way. Now, if you have small children, there's no corners for them to bang their skull on. Good thing. And like we did with the last piece, put a little secure on there, and we'll set our screw for our plywood, push it up against the wall. There we go. Make sure you got it in there good. Now with this top piece, you ain't got to do what I did with the bottom piece. So, now that we're there, we'll push the front all the way up, best we can. And we'll get it secured as well. And once that's secure, we're in a good spot. Make sure you got it all the way up against the plywood. For obvious reasons. Now that's in there. And we'll just come out and do the same thing. All the way down. So we'll need 8 screws, so 6 more. Since I put 2 in down there, if I can count, that's 5. Bada bing, bada boom, number 6. And then, like this piece, this plywood's kind of sitting in a little bit. So we'll go ahead and do it like we did with the other one. Oh, it fell out. And we'll slide that back in. We'll do the same thing here. Push the plywood all the way to the wall. Get it nice and secure. Now, here, this 2x4 kind of leans in a little bit, so it looks a little weird. It's not flush with the front of the with the plywood, so just slide it out. There. Shelves are nice and in there. And we'll move down and do the next one. Next 2. Check your level. Still level. And depending on how long they are, you might want to put another support beam. You know what I'm saying? All up to you. Put another one here. I probably will. But for just intents and purposes, this is a quick way to make some shelves. Especially if you got a family, you got limited room, you need to maximize it. You put stuff underneath here. The whole thing. Should have brought out my big drill, but this wood's kind of soft and I was afraid I was going to rip right through it. So I'm using my little cheap power drill that I have, battery operated drill. And it's getting the job done. It's just loud, a little obnoxious, but what can you do? Now, for obvious reasons, take these out. Still good. Be good to have a metal piece, so I'm gonna put one because it's still kind of a little flimsy. That's where you're gonna see some sag. A little bit of sag right there. So we're gonna put a piece in the middle. That's what we got it for. Oh, no. Anyway, guys, that was a quick way to put some shelves in your game room, your garage. Nothing spectacular. I did it by myself. About an hour. Not bad. Comes in handy. Anything you need to do with it, it works. So let's go with it. Anyway, this is Bleed from the YouTube channel Games and Veins. I hope this helped you maximize your room, show off some of the amazing equipment that you've collected over the years, especially if you're my age. I got all the original Zeldas and Mega Mans in the boxes with the manuals. So I'm going to put them on display. I'm going to build some little display shelves. Once I'm done doing this, I'm going to put that on YouTube too and just kind of go over the kind of stuff I got. I appreciate y'all watching, man. Please like, subscribe, put some suggestions. Even if it's like, hey, dude, you suck at cabinets. I don't care. Still got the shit done. Thank you.